Hi everyone, Amy here. Welcome back to Paper Therapy. It's a chilly fall morning in Alberta, Canada, so I thought today is the day to find some fall pictures. So here I have some. There's not too many, so I'm going to be using them to make this layout. It is in Make It From Your Heart, Volume 3. And I am going to make some changes because I don't have a 5x7 photo as it says here. I think I want this photo, this first photo, to be this one with this glorious yellow tree. And so just going to push this up. Might be a bit hard to see, but so I'm thinking this will be that one. So then I need to make, either I need to make this larger to fill the 5x7 spot, which I could do, or I need to shrink these down so they fit. So let's say do this one 3x3 and this one 3x3, 2 squares that would be, which I could do. Like this one could go here and our pup could go here. And then I don't actually have enough photos either. So I have the same situation again on this side. So most likely what I'm going to do is do this one 4x4 and then just have a journaling spot over here instead of having the 2 photos here. So that's just kind of how I decide. I kind of wanted to cut my clothesline off. We don't live in this house anymore, but this was, it's called Virginia Creeper and it turns red. And in Alberta, we don't have a whole lot of red. Everything's usually this yellowy color in fall. So I was kind of excited that it was beautiful. It turned red every fall. So, and we don't live in this house. So just kind of want to commemorate this. And I went for a walk with my son. Of course, there's no pictures of me this time. Often no pictures of mom, but it'll work, I think. So I've got this paper here from the Crisp Air Workshop and I've glued my pictures on how I want my 2 picture areas to be, mats. So I just wanted to show you which paper it was. It has a bit of marbling, but it's mostly white. I tried starting on it as a background and I just didn't like it at all. So I am just gonna trim this down. Go. And then these will be my 2 photo mats. This might be a bit wide. Oh no, I cut these pictures slightly small, I think. That's okay. And then I didn't want to use, I actually would have liked a second mat all the way around in the sapphire blue, but I didn't want to use a whole sheet of sapphire. So I came up with a different way. This trimmer with this little cut wire is my favorite. I love this trimmer because it's, you know exactly where your cut line is going to end up when you put the, see, I know exactly where it's going to go. So I just love that. Look, I'm saying that and then I'm thinking, I think this needs another hair off of it. I think my blade is getting dull. Another thing to order. Okay, so now I have these 2. This is going to be the journaling down here, most likely. Otherwise, I'll put decorations there and journaling elsewhere. But for right now, that's my plan, to put it there. So I had tried to start on this like marbly off-white paper, and it just didn't work for me at all. Oh, and that's the other thing I was going to do. I almost forgot to show you. So this is what I'm going to do is add this now. Definitely going to need distressing. So the reason I'm doing that is, like I said, I didn't want to use 2 pieces of the blue. I'm going to speed up the video here just so that you can see it come together a little quicker. I used an edge distresser I still have from years back. I don't believe that we sell this anymore. To distress all the edges. You can do it with a scissors or you can get these distressors at different craft stores. And I think it really goes with the fall theme with the crunchy leaves and stuff to just have the edges all kind of roughed up. So I really like that. I used to use my fingernail to rough up edges, but you get kind of sore fingernails after a while. So this thing definitely saves a little bit of time and pain and suffering. When our previous dog first passed away, I had a really hard time even looking at the pictures. But now I was happy to scrapbook these pictures. These are from 2020, and all the things in these pictures are we don't live at that house anymore. We have a new dog. And it just seems like so long ago. And really, it was only 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, basically right now, like our leaves are not in color here yet, but we're having a longer summer this year. So this is probably mid-October, I would say, of 2020. I've dovetailed the paprika paper there, that plaid paper. It's tricky to dovetail something that's so wide, but I do like the look of it. It just gives it a little bit of interest on the bottom there. I do cover some of it up as well with the leaf embellishments that I use, but I still like the kind of the flag idea that's there. I really like that they added like this dark blue to this paper pack. I just find it really anchors the different colors, and it's pretty busy paper for me. Like that leafy paper is quite busy. But I think because this layout has less pictures and I've got the empty space on the other side of the craft paper, it works. And here is the basic layout. Now I'm going to work on some embellishments. I'm using a rock and roll technique on these textured leaves, which are still available with the thin cuts. And I've also pre-cut some maple leaves above there. That particular one is no longer available, but we do have one that is even a little more intricate than that one. I stamped these all, got them all ready, and then I cut them afterwards. Later on, I'll explain to you why I would do it differently if I had to do over again. But I just wanted to have everything ready to make up some fun clusters. I also use this doily in a different way than traditional. So I'm working on some distressing. This is just, I don't even know where I got this, but one day I am going to be buying the close to my heart ones. You can't buy everything at once, at least I can't. Okay, so I'm finding that these are not colored enough for me. I want them to have more color to them. And I maybe could have stamped them on colored background, but since I've already made these, I decided I'm gonna try and distress them so I do like them. So I'm just using this to kind of shade them in a little bit. What I'm gonna do, need a bit of a soft background, is I've got this little nail. You might have seen me use it before. It's like a pusher for your cuticles. And I'm just gonna run along the veins that are already drawn in these leaves from the stamp. Just kind of go around them. It takes time, and I figure I spent all the time cutting these out. If I had it to do over, I would definitely cut them out, because I didn't do a perfect job centering them every time anyway, because I knew they were going to be layered, and I just thought, well, I'll put the less centered ones towards the back. And I'm too impatient. Anyone else have that issue? So I would definitely pre-cut, because you can cut more than one when you're doing a simple shape like this. I would definitely, to do it over, I would pre-cut several in a stack on the Big Shot or whatever you have. And then I would stamp them after. They're pretty easy to center when you have the see-through stamps. That's what I did. But what's done is done. You live and you learn. So now I can give you the advice that I didn't take for myself. See? And these guys too, they really need to have some texture to them. They're way too perfect. See how you can make such pretty arrangements? And then I also cut these guys, if you remember seeing those, just to have that little bit of blue because I really like it in the, not sure, I think that's the darker side. But I will probably also take these and... So I put the leaves in quite quickly how I thought I would like them. I end up moving them a little bit later because I kind of forgot that I needed my title in these places. So I kind of covered too much of the paprika up because that's where I wanted to put my title. I marked with a pencil where they were going to end, and now I'm going to use this doily in a unique way. I'm going to use it as a stencil just with this blending brush and some espresso ink. Just making a bit of a background that I can put my embellishments onto. It's very subtle when it's finished because a lot of it gets covered up, but it's kind of fun. And it also fades a little bit from what you're seeing here because the inks do fade a bit when they're dry. It was really quite simple to do, and it's another way to get use out of your die cuts when you have an intricate one like this. So this is how they kind of ended up, and then I started to build. Now I've put my word colorful in there. I've started to realize, oh wait, I have to make room for my title to get in here, so I can't go over top of my paprika piece of paper there, my little banners. So I've got to make this work. So that's when I put down the colorful. I don't have the L there yet because I'm planning to put it right on top of that last leaf there, just so that it's kind of coming off the edge of the banner. It works quite good because the leaf is kind of a similar color to the banner. So a lot of arranging and rearranging and fussing, and I did move the word colorful down a little bit too on the whole, like the whole little piece of paper that background it's on. I find in the video it doesn't really do it justice. I think that the words, because they have so much white around the edge, you don't see the color in the video so much, but when you see it in person, I find you see the color a lot. The color of each different letter a lot better. This arranging is kind of the fun part, and I think that a couple of secrets to being able to arrange them nicely is to put your biggest ones down first, and also when you're getting your little die cuts or whatever you're using ready, you really want to select a variety of sizes and shapes. You want some long and narrow, you want some big, you want some small to fill in each little area that you think needs something. And of course, also a variety of colors so that you can add a pop of this color and that color and tie everything together. So these paprika and these blue pieces, what's neat about those is that I'm sure you noticed that they do not actually go behind those photo pieces. So it's just a little bit of paper that you really use on this layout. The other thing is that when I glued those blue pieces down, I made sure they were straight, and then I could just tuck in the flag, just overlapping ever so slightly onto the blue pieces of paper. And I know it's straight because I'm just lining them up with the one that I've done with a ruler previously. A really nice thing about this paper pack is that I actually do not have all of these ink colors yet. I hope to someday, but as I said, I'm always on a budget, so I have to be a bit careful. And I think it's important not to buy things that I'm not going to use. I have so much stuff already. I want to be stewardly about how I use my money and what I buy and what I have in my craft room. So what's really nice about this particular paper pack is that all of the leaves are kind of colored in this tie-dye watercolory way. So you can really use what colors you have to make leaves that match. the ones in the background. It's quite forgiving, I think, because of the different shades in the leaves in the background. And I really like that. And of course, that totally works with fall. If you live anywhere where the leaves change and fall off, you know that they change in a whole array of colors. So having embellishments that kind of go with that is really neat. I really like the big red leaves I use too, because they really look quite a bit like the Creeping Virginia vine leaf. That's kind of how the leaf looks like. And it's actually Virginia creeper. My son, when he was little, called it, "Mom, that's your creepy Virginia," which I always thought was sort of funny. I never even put that in the journaling. I should have. Creepy Virginia. So my husband would always joke about there being a creepy Virginia in our backyard. And now that son is 16 years old and driving and in grade 11. Isn't it crazy how time flies? And isn't it fun to just commemorate all the things that happened as your kids grew up? I just think it's really neat that I have the time and the funds and the family to make scrapbook layouts about, to kind of relive some of those great moments that you had with your family. That's what it's about for me. The leaf embellishments that I created myself were created on that marbly paper that came in the workshop. So it's not straight white. I thought that would be appropriate, and it did work out quite well, but I found that I wished I had some really stark white around the edges of some of the leaves, because it's around the edges of crispy, crunchy, colorful. So I do add a few leaves from the sticker sheet just to kind of bring that really stark whiteness around the layout. And I do like, they're a little bit smaller too, and I do like how they fit in. So I have a feeling this is going to be a really popular layout with people who watch my channel. I hope so. I really like it. I find this is a little busy for me, but because it's not a lot of photos, I'm really happy with it, how it turned out. So I just used a little bit of the dots from the sticker sheet. That part did not record for some reason. I'm gonna have to try and figure out why I struggle with, it's these dots here. Where are they? You can see the ones I've used. There's a few. So I'm gonna have to figure out why when a text comes in or whatever, my phone turns off. My iPhone. There. And my journaling, and I put in behind my journaling a little bit of a little bit more from the doily, but it doesn't show up much. Should have done it a little bit darker. I did it in linen. Might be an older color. Colourful, the British way, because that's how we write it in Canada. You'll fail your spelling test if you don't do that. So there is my layout, which I'm quite happy with. This title worked really good with it, so I'm really glad I used it. Thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful weekend coming up. Bye.